In part 1, we were planning and scheduling a marketing event for Northern Wireless Internet, who are bringing new products to market. Part 2, we will demonstrate how to track progress, analyze and disseminate meaningful results using Power BI and Excel reporting. First, we begin by opening the initiative from part 1. Here we have Windows Explorer open, and I backed up the previous initiative in this folder. So to restore the project, we just need to drag the Timebars file onto the screen and show all. So here's the project or the initiative that we had in the last demonstration. Now we're going to want to update progress. We're going to have a status meeting. It's 4 weeks later, and we want to get the team together and find out where we're at. But first, what we need to do is baseline this initiative. Now to baseline the initiative, we just click on the ID. P1 means project 1, and we can click the set baseline button here. So okay, set baseline. And that's all we really need to do. Now if I click on the task ID again, it refreshes this screen here, and it shows that we've got plan dates. This is our baseline. This is our plan. Our forecast and plan is the same at this point. So the status date is the date that the scheduling engine uses to calculate all other dates during progressing. So all I need to do is move the status date forward 4 weeks. So I'm going to set it to the 17th of December. We're simulating that it's the 17th of December and we're having a meeting. And just think about the status date. We're sitting on the 17th of December right now, and we're updating our project. We're sitting in a meeting, and we don't want to spend a lot of time filling in forms and picking dates from pick lists. We just want to quickly find out the status, what's done, not done, and when we're going to do up and coming tasks. So what Timebars did automatically when we set the status date was it set this task and these two allocations to 100%. Let's take a look. Here we have 100%, and it set actual start, actual finish, duration, and it used the original percent allocated to calculate actual work. Now, if this person, who is Allie, if she worked those 4 days at 10%, the 3.2 actual hours is accurate. If you're okay with that, fine, move on. Now, if you're saying, no, I want it more accurate, when did you really start and when did you finish? Well, we could look at that by dragging the bar, and it'll automatically change the actual hours and the actual start and finish date. But in my case, and in most people's cases, we don't necessarily want to look back exactly when things were done. We're not doing a legal document. So those are the questions that I believe should be asked. Now this task is Jack. Jack's sitting in with us, and Jack just said that he spent last week on it, 1 day at 25% of his time that day. He didn't do much. So we can go and just change the duration here to 1 day. This is 1 day. It stops at days. That's 2 days, 3 days. So he basically spent 1 day on it last week, but he is done. And so this task is completed. So we just need to set the day when it completed. So if we check this out, we can see that on the 8th of December, the work actually is complete. So now let's take a look at this task. This task is in flight. I could just move that up here now. and well, there's only one person working on it, and it's Joe. So we got to ask Joe what's going on. So Joe just said that he didn't spend any time on it that week. He's going to work on it all next week. Well, Joe, when are you going to finish? Well, by Friday. And how much time do you think you're going to spend on it next week? Joe says he's going to spend 4 days next week at 50% of his time. So let's leave that like that and that like so. And now find presenters. Here we've got Joe and Rick working on this indoor fundraising event. He's going to start next week. So basically that's it. We've updated our schedule. And now we can take this information and produce reports and disseminate the information. I think this is a dramatic improvement in scheduling productivity. You're not filling out forms. You're not asking people how many hours did they spend on tasks. You're not upsetting anybody. So now I would like to demonstrate the reporting and data analytics piece. Okay, so I'm going to restore a project that I have on my system for demonstration purposes, and it's called Northern Wireless Internet Releases 4. So I'm going to bring into Timebars the resource list or the resource pool. So this is a list of all the people in Northern Wireless in this example, and we've got the manager here. So Joe Montana, Julia CEO, Mario Sim, they're the manager of these resources. So we're going to finish restoring this project. You have to do it in a certain order right now. You have to bring in your metadata first. And now we're going to bring in the time bars. And save for the backup. And click refresh. And here we have restored this demo project. So this demo project has a new feature called portfolios. I have a financial system release, which is a portfolio of projects. There's 3 projects. The green bars are projects, the blue are tasks, yellow are gold. And basically, I want to do some resource analysis. I want to see who's allocated, who's over allocated, under allocated across these next several months. These files get picked up by Timebars and deposited into a SQL-based data warehouse. Now that happens automatically whenever these files change. The data warehouse is updated automatically. So with the data being in the data warehouse, when I click on reporting, it's firing up Microsoft Power BI, and this report sitting inside of Timebars reaches into the data warehouse and displays these graphs. So this is the real power of having accurate data in Timebars. And Joe Montana has these 3 people working for him that are assigned to all of these various software releases. But down here is the important graph. This is demand, the number of people compared with the supply, number of people on hand. So this graph shows the supply, number of people on hand here. Now if I click George, we can see that George is not over allocated. In this case, George is 0.25. So George is not over allocated. Let's see if Mike's over allocated. No. And Sam? No. Julia CEO, let's take a look. Julia CEO has 2 people, Joe and Vent and Sally, and none of them are over allocated. Mario has Ali from HR working, and you can see that that Ali is 1 here. This line represents 1 person, and she is over allocated by quite a bit. Now, Let's go to the next page of this dashboard and have a look at the portfolio summary with costs and hours. We could see for this release, we have a description of the release, and we have the projects that are baked into this release, and we also have the costs and hours. Now we go to the next tab, and this is an investment analysis of each of the releases and their sub-projects within them. And it shows that almost half of our cost is going to be spent. Cost is $110,000 on improving customer service. Over here we got cost by program and the investment objective. We want to grow the business. It looks like most of the money is being spent on running the business, and we're going to do some business transformation here. And the last page, bubble chart, where internal rate of return has been calculated for each of these programs. And we also have the risk complexity factor. So here we've got a couple of medium-sized projects where this is a very complex project and not having much return. And this is a less complex project and more return. So this is definitely a project we should focus on. Now I'm going to go back to Timebars and show you other reporting that we have. We have, for example, a schedule report. These are text-based reports. And we have a cost report. And we can export these to Excel directly from here, but we don't get all the nice formatting, so I recommend you use the other mechanism we showed in the first demo to put this data into Excel for other kinds of reporting.